February 1959. Deep in the Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union, 9 experienced hikers set off on a routine expedition. They were trained. They were prepared. They had done this before. They never came back. When search teams finally found their camp weeks later, what they discovered made no sense. The tent had been cut open from the inside. The hikers had fled into sub-zero temperatures barefoot and in their underwear. Some had fatal internal injuries, with no external wounds. One was missing her tongue. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. And 65 years later, no one can fully explain what happened on that mountain. The group was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student at the Ural Polytechnic Institute. His team consisted of 8 fellow students and graduates, all experienced hikers, all in peak physical condition. Their goal was to reach Otorten Mountain, a grade 3 difficulty trek, the highest rating in Soviet hiking. Challenging, but nothing they hadn't handled before. They set off on January 23, 1959. Early journal entries were cheerful. Jokes, sketches, camp songs. By February 1st, they had set up camp on the slope of a mountain the local Mansi people called Kolotsyakal. In the Mansi language, that name translates to Dead Mountain. That was the last night anyone outside the group knew them to be alive. When Dyatlov's group failed to check in, a search party was sent. On February 26, they found the tent, half buried in snow and slashed open from the inside. The hikers' belongings were still inside. Their shoes, their coats, their food, everything left behind as they ran into the freezing night in nothing but their sleepwear. The first 2 bodies were found at the edge of the forest, nearly a mile away, near the remains of a small fire. They were barefoot. Their fists were bloody, as if they'd been climbing a tree in desperation. 3 more bodies were found nearby, scattered between the forest and the tent, as if they'd been trying to return to camp and never made it. The last 4 weren't discovered until May, buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine. And this is where the case goes from tragic to deeply disturbing. These 4 had massive internal injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, the kind of trauma you'd see in a high-speed car crash. Yet the skin was completely undamaged. No bruising, no cuts, just internal devastation. And one of the hikers, Ludmila Dubinina, she was missing her tongue, eyes, and parts of her lips. The tissue had been removed. Not torn, removed. Soviet investigators also noted that some of the clothing showed unusually high levels of radiation. They closed the investigation shortly after. Cause of death? That chilling phrase, an unknown compelling force. In the decades since, dozens of theories have emerged. Here are the most credible ones. Theory 1, an avalanche. In 2021, Russian prosecutors officially concluded the group was killed by a small, delayed avalanche, one that created a snow slab which crushed them while they slept. That would explain the internal injuries. But it doesn't explain why the tent was cut from the inside, or why they ran a mile into the forest. Theory 2, infrasound panic. Some researchers believe wind moving to the mountain's unique geography created infrasound, low-frequency sound waves humans can't hear, but which cause extreme anxiety, paranoia, and terror. It could explain why 9 rational, experienced hikers fled in blind panic into a deadly blizzard. Theory 3, Soviet military testing. The radiation, the strange injuries, the sealed files. Some believe the group accidentally wandered into a secret weapons testing zone, and the Soviet government buried the truth with the bodies. Theory 4, the Mansi people. Early investigations pointed to the indigenous Mansi, suspecting a territorial conflict, but there was no evidence, and the theory was dropped. And then there's the theory that refuses to go away, that something else was on that mountain, something we don't have a name for.
The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. 9 people entered that mountain. None came out, and every answer only seems to raise more questions. What do you think happened up there? Drop your theory in the comments below. If you want more buried truths, things history tried to hide, subscribe to Vaulted Truths. A new mystery drops every week. The Vault is just getting started.